Hey, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back. If you've been here before, welcome. If you're new here, I did a little segment of You Ask, I Answer, and one of the questions I'm going to address today was left in my comments, and it was about how is it that females can do really light weights for lots of reps and grow big muscles, but then you see guys who could lift that same woman over his head and it doesn't even look like he's put on any muscle, right? He hasn't gotten bigger muscles. Why is this? As some of you may know, I am an adjunct professor of kinesiology, which is exercise science at George Mason University. I teach the undergrad program. So I have a really good background when it comes to strength and conditioning. I'm also an IFBB pro. As I said, I have my master's in kinesiology. I have my USAW level 1, I have my CSCS, my tactical training certification, and I have my yoga 200-hour certification, plus I'm an athlete myself. So to answer your question, and I feel like I can answer this very well, there's a difference between the training types that female is doing and the male. And when we have different training types, we're going to have different muscle fibers. Our bodies have different muscle fiber types. So that if you've ever seen a marathon distance runner, they're long and lean. Well, that's a type 1 fiber. And if we were to slice a piece of their arm off and look at that under the microscope, that type 1 fiber that supports their endurance training is going to be a very long and lean fiber. Hence, while runners don't have a lot of bulk, they have long and lean fibers. When we talk about the female who's doing low weight and a bunch of reps and yet she's getting bigger, she's training type 2A fibers. So these type 2A fibers are going to be the kind of muscle fiber that increases in size but not necessarily function. So when we think of that muscle fiber, it's just growing bigger. And that's what bodybuilding is. That's what hypertrophy is. The goal of that style of training is to build that particular muscle fiber. So the muscle fiber is going to get bigger, but not stronger. Whereas we look at the strength athlete, he's training type 2X fibers. Those muscle fibers don't necessarily grow in size, but they increase the number of fibers in that bundle. To make this even more clear, let me whip out some girl stuff for you. Watch this. Let's say my goal right now is to train for strength, which means I want to increase the number of muscle fibers, which is going to increase my strength. That means put your hair in a ponytail, right? I start off, I have this many muscle fibers. As I progress through my strength training, think of it like extensions. I'm adding in more muscle fibers so I can lift more weight. So I'm going to increase the number of fibers as well as increase my strength. When it comes to hypertrophy, I'm not increasing my muscle fibers. I'm simply increasing the muscle size. So it would be like me doing this, flipping my hair over, making it super big and voluminous. So I have more volume, I have more size, but the number of fibers in my hair is still the same. That's the reason why you see girls lifting lightweight for a lot of reps. They grow in size because they're training that muscle fiber type to increase in size. But it's not necessarily going to increase their strength. It's going to be very minimal. Whereas if we lift heavy weights, we're talking about like up to 5-6 reps, we're going to increase those muscle fibers. So we're going to add more muscle fibers. And that necessarily isn't going to be bigger. We're just going to have a thicker ponytail, so to speak. So I hope that made it a little clear for you without going too deep in the weeds with kinesiology and muscle physiology. If you have any other follow-up questions, please let me know. I would love to continue to talk about this. Or if you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know. Go dominate.